know they have to put packaging around things to keep them safe and stuff like that, but I swear to God, you gotta have the federal code just to get into them. Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Pavanine Studios Beauty and Art. My name is Amy. Today I am going to do a full face of new stuff. At least I think I have most things new. And I'm going to start with my eyes, and I picked, if you watched my last video, you know that I mentioned that I was going to Sephora to return a foundation and to look around, and of course I did, and well, we know how that goes. Anyway, I picked up this palette and I thought I'd give it a go today. This is the Violet Voss Best Life number 2. I don't have the first one. In fact, I think this is the only Violet Voss palette I have. And this is what she looks like. Very, very pretty. Lots of sparkly stuff. And normally I wouldn't pick a palette that has so many pressed glitters in it, because I've got lots of palettes that have pressed glitters in them already. But you know, I was sucked in by the sparkle. One of the other things that I picked up at Sephora was the KVD Shake Primer. And I'm kind of excited to try this out. I did wear it yesterday, but I didn't really wear a lot of eyeshadow. I went to the dermatologist and had my Botox done. So that was a good time. But apparently you shake it up, obviously, and you just need 1 drop. And it's clear, so it's not like the Anastasia one, which has, you know, pigment in it to cancel out veins and things like that. But I don't have a lot of that kind of thing, so I think, ooh, I already got some glitter on me. That's all right, we're gonna go with it. So we'll see how it works today. And I, of course, will do a check-in at some point to let you know if there's any kind of creasing or anything like that. I'm gonna let that dry for just a minute. I also went to TJ Maxx to return something, and of course I never come away from TJ Maxx empty-handed. It just never happens. But I picked up a couple of things there, and one of them was this Revolution, I think it's supposed to be, it says Cheek Kit, Fresh Perspective. And when I swatched these, they seemed more like highlighters, although not super light highlighters. So I'm trying to decide between that and this other thing that I picked up for my highlight at Sephora, and this is the Clinique, what do they call this? Powder Pop Flower Highlighter, and this is the color Lunar Pop. As far as I know, there's just the two. There's the highlighter and the bronzer, and I didn't pick up the bronzer because I'm not super fond of shimmery bronzers, and I already have some, so I skipped on that. But this is really pretty, and I did wear this the other day, and it's quite a lovely subtle highlighter. So if you like beaming highlight, seen from space highlight, probably this one will not be for you, although potentially you could spray your brush and intensify it. I haven't done that. I don't usually do that. If I want that, I just pick another highlighter. I also picked up the Marc Jacobs highliner. The other day when I was doing my Juvia's Place Mauves and Berries eyeshadow look, I was wishing that I had like a burgundy or like a purple, like a warm purple liquid liner. And so nobody really, I don't know, there just doesn't seem to be that many liquid liners out there, but I picked up the Marc Jacobs one, and this is the shade Berry Deep. And I haven't used this, so I don't know, but it's, you know, kind of the traditional And I don't even know anything about this. So we'll see what, like what the finish is. But so I picked up the Sephora eyeliner Liquid Intense Intense Ink Lighter, and this is supposed to be waterproof, and this is the color called, I believe, Satin Green. And I've not tried any of the Sephora liners, and they don't have a lot of colors, unfortunately, but I was kind of intrigued by this sort of dark muted green. So I picked up the Origins Pretty in Blue SPF 20. This is Flower Infused Longwear Foundation. And I picked up a lighter shade and put it on, and it was beautiful, but it was too light. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to keep that for the winter, and I'm going to get one that's a little bit darker to wear right now. So that's what I did. I'm going to wear that today. I also, when I was at Sephora, I picked up the Sephora Clean Glowing Skin Foundation, and I think this is a pretty new one for them. And I got the shade 9. I'm excited about trying this because I've even done a pretty recent Mix It Monday with the Sephora one that comes in the bottle. I can't remember the details of that one, and I like it. I'm hoping that this isn't too dark. I also picked up the Ilia foundation, this one, and I'm excited about trying this one. This is a True Skin Serum Foundation. So this is more of a light to light medium coverage, which I've kind of been enjoying lately. Serum foundations can be tricky for me. Sometimes they don't like to sit on my skin the way I want them to. Okay, enough yammering. Let's get on with the eyeshadow look here. And I am going to grab a couple of brushes. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of, I don't know, just play, I think, and see what I come up with. So I'm gonna go into the color Relax. Boy, I have glitter. I don't know if you guys can see that. Where did you come from? Oh well, it doesn't matter. Well, it kind of does. This is the color Relax. Yeah. Seems like a nice base color. It's just kind of a, a peachy color. I don't know that I'm going to do anything exotic today. I just want to try this out, and I've heard good things about Violet Voss shadows in general, but I've never picked one up. They're one of those things that they're a little bit higher price point, and so they make it into my cart, and then I take them out, put them in, take them out, and just haven't pulled the trigger. And I'm going into the color Music, which is a little bit more of an orangey mustard color. So far I'm not having any trouble blending over that primer. So one of the other things that I got in my Sephora order was one of the chromium liquid eyeshadows from Natasha Denona. I knew these were small because I'd heard other people mention them. It's little, it's tiny. It's like, oh look, it's so cute, it wants to be an eyeshadow when it grows up. But it is really pretty. I've swatched it on the back of my hand, and it's nice quality and stuff. So I'm not bitching, I'm just bitching. Okay, I think I am going to go into the color Social, which is kind of a terracotta color. And this is that same brush. And I'm just going to focus that a little bit more in the crease. And then blend it out. This is how I almost always do my eyeshadow. Start light, work darker, do my crease work first, and then go in with the fancy stuff. And again, so far, no trouble blending. I'm still eagerly, very eagerly, awaiting my Be Perfect Stacey Marie Carnival 3 palette. And the weird thing is that I have no tracking number. It just, my email says that my order is complete, and rest of world, because it's coming from Ireland, 7 to 14 days. It's been 10. So I keep watching. And I watched a few tutorials with people using them. Angie's done one, Karen Harris has done one, Nikki Raven has swatched all the colors on her eyelids, which is just makes my eyelids hurt just thinking about it. But the more reviews like that I see, the more anxious I am for it to get here. Okay, I'm going to go into the color Style, which is kind of a medium brown. And this is a smaller brush, and so I'm taking that right in that crease. I'm kind of liking this little brush. It's from BH Cosmetics. I used it, I don't know, the other day, yesterday maybe, day before, and I really like the size of it. I really want to order some Sigma brushes. I haven't pulled the trigger because I don't know exactly what I want, and they're not, they're not super cheap. They're not the most expensive brushes out there, but I do want to get the right things. And I like little brushes more than I do like some giant brush because of my eye shape and my eyes being a bit hooded and so on. So I like smaller brushes. And I need some like shader brushes. Well, honestly, I don't really need them, but I want some nicer brushes because, all brushes I think have their place, and they have their positives, their pros and their cons. It's just like with painting. I've got cheap ass chip brushes from Home Depot, and then I've got more expensive brushes. I don't have anything super expensive because I don't do watercolor, and those are when you really get into the really expensive brushes. But sometimes you want a cheap ass brush so you can really scrub at your paint. It's kind of the same thing with eyeshadow brushes. The more, like the Morphe ones, they tend to be a little bit more scratchy. Not scratchy, but, well, some of them can be scratchy, but a little bit more abrasive, and that lets you move color in a different way than something that's super, super soft. So there's this color called Home. What color is that? I don't know. It looks kind of green, but it looks kind of black. We're gonna try it. I'm gonna put that in my outer corner. Yeah, I'm gonna say that's definitely got a green sort of look to it. If this one works out, I will be delighted, because this kind of dark green has been a challenge for me to find something that I like, that works well, that's not patchy, that's looks green and not black. So I'm mainly focusing this in this outer corner. And here's my problem child right here. Most of the time I feel like there's only so much that I can do. with this eyelid, which is just, it is what it is. So I'm going to take a clean brush and just kind of start blending out those edges, and I can go back in and intensify some of these colors, but I do want to start bringing this out a bit. I'm going to bring that dark color up a little bit, and then I'll go back in with one of those other colors and kind of add some to blend it out. Because I think, given this color, I'm going to use that Sephora liner. I'm going to go back in with that Sonia Kashuk brush, and I'm going to pick more of the color Music Up, which is the orangey mustardy color. And I'm just going to kind of go over the edge of this. You kind of have to keep in mind that you're mixing colors, and if you mix green and gold, it's going to mute both of those colors. So I'm not loving that, but it's, you know, on the other hand, maybe I'm kind of going for a grungy look today and I didn't even know it. Okay, so I will clean up this little bit of fallout. It's really not that bad, but I did want to go in first with my eyes, which I usually do. Okay, so I'm going to take, I'm just going to take that little brush again. I'm going to go into the color Nature, which is kind of a pinky color. And I'm going to put that on my lid. And obviously, that's what I'm doing. And I don't want necessarily a lot of this color. I just want something underneath, because I'm gonna go in with that color that I just showed you that's called Food. These shade names are pretty funny. And lightly just kind of bring that over that green, because yeah, if you mix red and green together, you're gonna get brown. So I'm just kind of fluffing this on. I'm not really looking for a lot of color payoff, but I feel like if I were to put this in my crease or whatever, that it would be a pretty satisfying color. So I'm going to go into the color Food, and I think I'm going to go ahead and spray it a little bit just to try to avoid too much fallout. And I'm just going to basically put that right over that pinky color. So upon reflection, it probably was not necessary to go under that with that color, because it's a little more opaque than I thought it would be. And I'm bringing that pretty far up into my crease, and I'm going to go back in with something, I'm not sure what, and work a little bit of like blending into that crease, although I kind of like being able to see just that tiniest little hint of pink there at the edge. Kind of digging that. I'm going to take that brush that I did the outer corner with, and I don't have anything on it. And I'm just going to kind of blend that edge just a touch. Try not to lose all of that pinky color that's coming through. I feel like it's not sticking right there. Typical. I am going to clean up a bit, and I'm going to finish the rest of my eyes. I'm going to go ahead and use the Sephora liner that I showed you a minute ago, and we're going to see what happens. And so far though, I feel like this is blending pretty nicely. I'm going to try it with the Anastasia primer as well and see, you know, if that makes any kind of difference as far as like the intensity of the eyeshadows and stuff. But so far I'm pretty happy. I don't even know how much I paid for this palette, you guys. I'll list everything that I put on my face down below, and if I can remember, which I never do, I'll try to put prices there as well, or up in the corner somewhere. But overall, I like it. You know what it's reminding me of, at least the colors that I used today, is the Subculture palette from Anastasia. The Subculture palette is one of those palettes that you love or you hate. Most people hated it. I don't love working with it, but I'm almost always pretty happy with the results, the look that I get. So I'm not sure how that works, but there you go. I'm going to go into that color Relax, and I'm going to bring that all the way up to my brow bone and do little circular blendy motions. And I think I'm up because I kind of lost that pink, so I'm going to take a kind of a little pointy guy and really tap off the excess there. And I'm just going to kind of go back into that pinky color. And I'm using a very light hand because I don't want there to be like a stripe, but I want you to be able to see it. All right, ladies and gents, I am going to go finish off my eye makeup, and then I will come back and we will do the Origins foundation, etc. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. All right, I am back, and I've got the rest of my eye makeup on and my lashes and stuff. I went ahead and used the Sephora Intense Ink Liner, and I think this is the color, yeah, Satin Forest Green. So real pretty. I didn't have any trouble with it at all. I went ahead and used some of the Playful glitter, pressed glitter from that palette, which by the way I looked up and is $48, I believe, 48 or 49. This is not my favorite form of pressed glitters. They're pretty dry. I definitely have other pressed glitters that are a better formula, but I went ahead and put it just a little bit on just for fun. I like this palette quite a bit, but my jury is out whether or not it is worth $48 or $49. I will let you know. Anyway, I used the number 811 Ardell lashes. They're a nice winged type of lash. I've used them before. And we are going to get right into the foundation. So once again, this is the Origins Pretty in Bloom Flower Infused Long Wear Foundation. And it has an SPF of 20, but of course I have SPF on. I have my IT Cosmetics foundation brush, and I just put a little of that out on my hand, and we are going to go in and see what we think. Color-wise, this is better than the other one, which is just a little bit too light. So initially I'm going to start with where I like the most coverage, which is my cheeks. Not so much because I have a lot to hide on my cheeks, but I feel like my cheeks can handle more product. And then I just will bring that around, pick up a little more. I was afraid I would have like little bruising and stuff on my forehead from my Botox yesterday, but I didn't, or I don't. A few little red marks, but nothing. I will say that this is only the second time that I've had Botox done, and it hurt more this time than it did the first time, but then I had a little more done. Let me tell you, that's a cash cow. It's like, why didn't I go to dermatology school or whatever, or medical school to become a dermatologist and then turn it into like an aesthetic practice? Because that stuff is not cheap, and you have to keep doing it, or you have to keep, well, you don't have to, of course, but that's what they would like for you to do. And of course, if you like the results, you're going to want to do it. And I did like the results in the center of my, where I have this line that goes right across, which is from scowling or concentrating. I feel like this is a nice shade match. I'm going to take a little bit more, just as, not because I feel like I need it. I would say this is a nice high medium coverage. So not full coverage, which I don't really like, just because I think it tends to look a little too heavy. But I'm going to put just a little bit more on, just to see how it does, how it wears, how it sits. And it's pretty early, so I should be able to get in like a full day wear test, which is awesome. And I will go over this, I think, with a sponge, just to make sure I don't have any super, heavy makeup-y places. But again, foundation is one of those things that takes a little bit of time, or you should take a little bit of time to do it. I know everybody wants to do everything fast, and I don't have time for that and all of that, but for me anyway, makeup it's therapeutic, and it's artistic, and it's fun, and so I like to take my time. I can do my makeup quickly, but it has to be like not a complicated thing, and lashes and 16 different colors on my eyeballs and all of that. I do have a little bit of dryness under my nose right here because I'm fighting off a little bit of eczema, which is usually the case with me. So instead of putting on like the ointment that I usually do, which it's an ointment, so it's pretty greasy, I tend to use it only at night, I go in with, and this is just, if you have problem dry spots or whatever, I go in with the UB, what is this? UB Advanced Formula Pure Hydration Cream. And this is really good stuff, and because you don't need tons and tons, and I think you can use it everywhere. It's like a cream consistency glycerin. I think it's the primary ingredient in it is glycerin. And I don't know, there's just something about it that is really, moisturizing, and it sticks around. It doesn't just, but it's not like shiny or anything like that. So I find it really helpful for those places that are like kind of dry and kind of flaky, and especially if they're in sort of an awkward place, like around your nostrils or around your mouth, that kind of thing. I really like it for that. So I am going to go in with my little sponge here, and wait, let me look real quick. I really like the way that this sits on my skin. For some reason, there's something about it that I just think is beautiful. And it's kind of glowy, dewy, but not overly so. But I feel like this is a really pretty finish on it. I'm super thrilled with it. It reminds me a little bit of the Shiseido foundation and also the Estee Lauder Hydra Futurist foundation, both of which I've used in Mix It Mondays. So I will try to remember to link a couple of those down below, or you can always check out my playlist, which is also down below and has all of my Mix It Mondays in it. So I'm really happy with the way that this looks, at least right now, and I'm excited to see. It says it's a long wear foundation. We'll see about that. I am going to go in with some concealer. I picked up after getting a little sample, I tell you, the samples, they get me, with the Giorgio Armani Power Fabric concealer, and this is the shade 3.5, and I hope that it will be a good one. I'm like, please don't be too dark or too light, because this shit is expensive. So this is just like a little clean, dense eyeshadow brush, which I don't particularly like for eyeshadow, so I'm just gonna pat that out. Make sure there's not too much crap under these old eyes. They're not really that old. I hate it when people do that. Old they are. Well, I don't mind it if you're actually, you know, up there and have a lot of life experience. But if you're 25 and you're like, oh, I'm so old, I'm like, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear it. It's like, you're not. You know you're not. I don't know what you're trying to do. Fish for compliments. Oh, but you look so good. Well, yeah, you're 25. I looked good when I was 25 too. I really like this concealer. I mean, as concealers go, I like it. When I watch foundation review videos and stuff, you know, typically I watch them on my phone. It's pretty hard to see like what's actually going on. I'm just setting a little bit with my NARS crystal powder. And so you kind of have to rely on the person to say, you know, this is really making me happy, or this looks terrible, even though you as a watcher can't necessarily see what they're seeing. And we're also different as far as what we like in our makeup, whether we like a lot, a little. I am going to go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup, and I don't think that I will do all of this on camera. I'm just gonna quickly share with you a couple of the new things that I picked up at Sephora the other day that I'm going to try. So I'm going to go in with a cream bronzer, and then I'm going to go in with the Ilia cream blush, and this is the color Temptation. And then I am going to go in with that, I think I'm going to use the Clinique highlighter, because although the Revolution one is really pretty, I picked it up at TJ Maxx. I'm sure you probably can't even get it anymore. So rather than use something that you potentially might like but can't get, I don't really want to do that, so I'm going to use something that you can get. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and finish off my makeup, and I might powder a tiny bit, but you know, for being such a glowy, dewy looking foundation, it does not feel super tacky. I mean, it feels really nice. Like, I can't even feel it. I mean, just, it doesn't feel heavy or anything like that, which I really appreciate. So let me go do that, and I will be back, and we will do kind of a final reassessment, and I will give you some final thoughts. And I will, like I say, I will do a check-in at some point, and I will list everything that I use on my face down below, so you can always check out my description box. And if I leave something out and you're curious, let me know in the comments, okay? All right, I will be right back, guys. Alright, you guys, I am back and I've got the rest of my face on, and I will say that I am quite liking my makeup today. Let me share real quick with you some other things that I tried out today. So I got my birthday gift. My birthday was like 2 months ago, but I got my birthday gift when I went into Sephora, and I picked up the one that had the Milk Kush mascara and the one that has like the little, where is it? The little tiny cream blush, and I haven't really swatched this, but I haven't really tried it on my face. Today I went in with the Ilia one that I showed you before, and I used the Fenty cream bronzer and I used the Clinique Lunar Pop highlighter on my cheeks, and the highlighter is really pretty. It's subtle, but I quite like that. For the mascara, it's okay. I mean, I've heard that people really like it. I'm not sure that I see why. The brush is huge. Well, at least it's huge for my eyeballs, so that's what she looks like there. And it seems, at least in this little guy, it seems like a pretty dry formula. We'll see if it transfers. I went ahead and put it on my lower lash line to see if it transfers. If it doesn't, it gets an automatic bonus point in my book. For my lips today, I went in with the Sephora liner in the Nudist. So this is 01. And I went over that with MAC Fresh Brew, which is a really pretty nude color, but it's not too peachy. I don't like things that are too peachy. And then I went over it with something else that I picked up at Sephora, and I actually picked up 3 different glosses, but this is the glossed, I don't know if you'll be able to see that version, and this is in shade 15, I think it says 15, Brave. I also picked up this particular gloss, and I'm not sure what the difference is, but this is N7 Pink Crystal. And then I picked up another one of the glossed ones, and this is the shade 120 Fly. And I don't like this one as much, at least not on its own, but I mean, they're all really pretty and they all feel really nice. I've only just, sort of put them on and wore them a minute and then took them off and tried the next one, because that's how I roll. I went in under my eyes with some of the same colors that I used above under my lash line. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I did powder with my Bare Minerals powder in my T-zone, and I tried to leave my cheeks unpowdered just to see how it wears. I do plan to go out today for a bit, and that means wearing a mask, and which I really resent. When you put this much work into your makeup and stuff, you don't really want to have to cover 2/3 of it up. But of course, that's a good reason to really play up your eyes too. At any rate, I think I am going to leave it there for now, other than to say the foundation I think is at this point beautiful. The eyeshadow palette I like. It's more the color story that I'm not like totally blown away with. And the pressed glitters are, they're okay. They're kind of dry, and I have better formulas, but the colors of the pressed glitters are really pretty, and they go well with the palette. So do you need that palette? Probably not. If you're like me and you have 5 gazillion palettes, you probably don't need it. But I wanted to try a Violet Voss palette, and the only other one they had there was the Sakura, I think that's how you say it. And I didn't really want yet another pink, red, orange, warm palette like that. I've got a million of them and I don't really need another one. But on the other hand, if these wear well, I'll think about it. Hi guys, I'm just doing a quick little check-in for my foundation and my eyeshadow that I did today. So for the eyeshadow, let's start there. I have not experienced any kind of creasing or anything. Now, whether that's the eyeshadow or the primer that I used or some combination of the two, who can say? I will say that the glitter that I added on kind of at the last minute, and I just barely put any on, has basically ended up down here. And it seems to have brushed away pretty okay. I don't mind a little bit of that kind of thing, I really don't. But probably if I was going to do it again, I would tap over whatever I had on my eyes, and then with some kind of glitter glue or something like that, something that's transparent and would allow the glitter to stay a little bit better. What's still on there is really pretty, and the eyeshadow itself I think looks good. It maybe even looks better now than when I first put it on. So far, the Violet Voss Best Life 2 it's a pretty good palette. I'm going to continue to play with that, of course, and I will probably do some kind of update video in the future where I update you on things like this palette. But for now, I'm liking it. So for the foundation, the Origins foundation, which I have mislaid, it's here somewhere. It's good. I mean, I like it. It's gathered a little bit right here. Not surprising. That happens to me a lot. Kind of not broken down really, but kind of settled a little bit right here, which is also a very typical thing for almost every foundation. I wore a mask today. I wore a mask today for a while, kind of put it on and took it off about, I don't know, 4 or 5 times, because we went 4 or 5 places, I think. But in general, I feel like the coverage and the staying power and everything has held up, and I'm still loving this highlight. I love the glow of this foundation. I don't typically get oily, so if you're a oily skinned girl or boy, this may not be for you. But you know, like I say, I really like this. I like the way that it sits on my skin. I think it looks pretty, and it's kind of hard to explain because it looks glowy, but kind of not matte's not the right word. Maybe sort of satiny or something. I don't know. I'm not good at sort of describing what I see. I just know that I am liking it. I did want to mention also that I have had this on for about 7.5 hours. So that's not like a 10 or 12 hour wear test, but I wanted to come in here and kind of sit down and look things over and let you know where we were at. And I've said previously that usually if foundation is gonna go south, it goes south at like the 5 hour mark, and there's no bringing it back. The liner that I used is good. So far it hasn't budged. The mascara, I feel like it's transferred some down under my eyes, and you know, that's so typical that I am more surprised when it doesn't happen than when it does. But in general, I am liking all of the new things that I put on my face. The blush I'm really liking. I like the way that it looks, the highlight, the foundation, the eyeshadow, everything. I mean, I don't know, I like the way my skin looks today. I felt pretty, and so I am going to call all of these things a success, except for possibly the mascara, at least on my lower lashes. And I think that's going to do it for my check-in, guys. So thanks so much for joining me today for a little bit of playtime with some new products, and I'm sure I forgot something, but I'll list everything down below. So don't forget to like and subscribe, ring that notification bell so that you are notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you guys so much for spending some time with me. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!